Durward on your left, Campbell on your right. Both players 1-0 here to get things started off in Milwaukee. And we'll watch Dredge versus Mardu Pyromancer. They'll be given the green light, and we will be underway here in round numero dos. This is a gemstone mine with 3 mining counters. Down to 2 mining counters now, and it'll be a Faithless Looting. Maybe Dredge's best card. 2 cards will be placed in the graveyard here by Campbell in just a moment.
Campbell's hand does not look to be particularly explosive here. I don't even know if she has a Dredger to work with.
I don't think so.
See some Narcomoebas at a prized amalgam, but I do not know if she has a Stinkweed. Oh, she's got a Dakmor Salvage, something to work with.
A little dredging, and now there's a Bloodghast, but nothing crazy. As we'll head back over to Caleb Durward.
And since Campbell here, a veteran of Dredge, as we all know, and knows that her graveyard is an extension of her hand in Battlefield, is kind of just laying out the graveyard that way, make it a little bit easier to track.
Here is Thoughtseize with no real good targets. Haunted Dead, Prize Amalgam, 2 Narcomoebas, and a Stomping Ground.
Take it back.
Yeah. You can keep them. I guess the selection will be Narcomoeba. Can't imagine taking anything else.
I mean, Narcomoeba is actually like gone when it's in the graveyard.
Yeah.
So that is the one live card, I suppose.
Yep, there goes Narcomoeba. At the cost of 2 life. We'll go over to Campbell. Dredge, Dakmor Salvage. 2 cards. One's a Conflagrate. The second one is a Faithless Looting. Salvage will head back to the hand to replace the draw step.
So I think from here, well, interested to see how Campbell wants to navigate this. My instinct is to play the Salvage here because you need to have the Stomping Ground as your 3rd land for the next turn to flashback the Faithless Looting. It does take away her 1 Dredger right now, but she has no way to get it back in the graveyard anyway. I think she just has to play it on Faithless Looting, giving her a little bit of help.
Draw. Here comes Bloodghast. That's the easy part. Caleb's going to fall down to 15 now. There is a land. That's a mountain. What kind of mountain is that? Do you know?
That is one of the unset ones.
Is that an unstable basic land? Bang. Second stamp. Going to discard a Haunted Dead and a Prized Amalgam, Will Campbell.
Yep. And so Campbell still not working with her best draw here. Still has not found a way to loop a Dredger every turn. Got much going in the graveyard. But Bloodghast plus Prized Amalgam is not a bad setup against Mardu Pyromancer since the deck is so flush with removal spells.
Conflagrate deals 2 or more damage. You think I'm going to get there on that?
It has to just go on the stat. If Durward concedes in response, that counts.
Okay.
But if it concedes before it's announced,
oh my gosh,
then it doesn't. We gotta have rules about this.
Okay.
You know?
Rules in your favor. Okay. Lingering Souls. 2 Spirit Tokens on the way. Campbell will untap. Only 1 mining counter left on that gemstone mine, so not a lot left to do with that land. Looks like Narcomoeba was the draw step.
Yep.
Ugh. Time for another Faithless Looting. All right. So 2 cards coming. 2 cards have to be placed in the graveyard. Cathartic Reunion among the cards found here. Here's a Life from the Loam. There goes Narcomoeba.
Here we go. Yep. Now the Cathartic Reunion plus something to do. This turn might start to get pretty explosive.
Yep, we're going to discard another Narcomoeba and a Wooded Foothills. So, Cathartic Union is going to resolve now. First Dredge is Life from the Loam. 3 cards will place in the graveyard. Lightning Axe is 1. Conflagrate is 2. Conflagrate is 3. So now draw a couple. There we go.
Yeah, any Dredger there, and I think Campbell can really get the ball rolling. Her Dredges so far have been very modest.
Yes. Stomping Ground untapped. Bringing Campbell down to 18. And now this is another copy of Faithless Looting. So, 2 cards coming. 2 cards we place in the graveyard here in just a moment. Stinkweed Imp among them, I'm sure. And life in the loam. So the big turn looks like it's going to be next turn.
Yes, next turn, it's really going to get rolling.
Here comes Bloodghast. Lingering Soul, Spirit Token will trade with that. Of course, Bloodghast will be able to come back a little bit later.
And since Campbell had already made her land drop for the turn there, Durward had a safe block. I think if Campbell's holding back a land or hadn't made a land drop, that block is much more risky because a landfall trigger gets back the Bloodghast, and then the Amalgam comes back, and you're really behind the 8-ball at that point.
Well, you can see exactly how slow Caleb is in this match. I mean, he just doesn't have very much for it. Game number 1, just casting copies of Lingering Souls. Not much else here. It's the second Lingering Souls of the game. Meanwhile, Campbell, on her 5th turn, is going to dredge 5. Prize Amalgam, Bloodstained Mire, Cathartic Reunion, Wooded Foothills, and Bloodstained Mire will go to the graveyard. Stinkweed Imp back in hand. Is it time to maybe flash back a Faithless Looting? I see you eyeing up that bingo board. Did you find something?
I thought I did, but I don't think so. Oh, card with landfall played. The Bloodghast.
Played?
Oh, we're going to do that? Okay.
Played?
Okay.
How does played work?
Okay.
Okay. Life in the Loam going to get back 3 cards. Here's a Gemstone Mine.
Okay.
I didn't see anyone play a Bloodghast. A Bloodghast is on the battlefield right now. Down to 2 mining counters and Cathartic Reunion. This is the big turn.
It's the thing. Even if the initial dredges are not, it's only a matter of time before the Stinkweed Imps roll off and you flip your deck over.
Yeah. Instant Neonate, Bloodghast. Copperline Gorge, Stomping Ground. Dredge again, Life in the Loam. That's a Stinkweed Imp. That's a Copperline Gorge. That's a Copperline Gorge. And now Life in the Loam. Prized Amalgam, Blood Crypt, Steam Vents, and we are all done here because Caleb knows I can't win anymore.
Yeah, my deck of bolts and dreadbores and 1/1 flyers isn't really equipped to handle this matchup game number 1.
Certainly not game 1, that is for sure, as Erin Campbell's going to win game number 1 here over Caleb Durward. Dredge very easily up a game over Mardu Pyromancer. Things get much more difficult for Campbell after sideboard, and we'll go over that in just a moment. But first, a couple of words from El Sponsorinos. We are back. Erin Campbell, Caleb Durward, Dredge, Mardu Pyromancer. Game number 1 went to Campbell pretty easily, honestly, as Mardu Pyromancer not really a deck that can beat Dredge in game number one unless something goes really poorly on the Dredge side. Even then, Dredge can probably still win. However, Caleb does have some good cards in his sideboard, like 3 Nile Spellbombs, 3 Molten Rains, 2 Wear Tear, 2 Collective Brutality, a Rakdos Charmer, Surgical Extraction, Anger of the Gods, and Engineer Explosives, and a Blood Moon. A lot of good ones.
Really good sideboard here. The Anger of the Gods, Surgical Extraction, Rakdos Charm, and Nile Spellbomb are all really good interaction against the recurring creatures. And I don't mind the 1 Blood Moon here either, going up to the second copy. If you are able to land a Blood Moon against Dredge and manage what they have on the battlefield, they don't break out of it very easily.
3 Thoughtseize, 3 Collective Brutality, 2 Ancient Grudge, a Nature's Claim, and Abrupt Decay, an Engineered Explosives, Maelstrom Pulse, a Lightning Axe, a Dark Blast, and a Gnaw to the Bone here for Erin Campbell.
Same 60.
Oh yeah?
I'm not. I mean, if you think that if the tokens are really concerning and you think there might be interaction elsewhere, maybe the Engineered Explosives is reasonable. The Dark Blast, I guess, is not bad here. There's a lot of 1 toughness, and Young Pyromancer has a pretty big bullet, or a target on its head rather, but nah, not a whole lot.
Don't think you need to change much.
I'm not interested in the discard spells.
No.
Anything that Durward's going to do that's meaningful is going to slip underneath that, and his deck is so redundant and homogenous otherwise that there's not a card you can really pick out of his hand. So
I'm not interested in the discard spells on the draw.
Certainly
That's
not.
for sure.
Certainly not on the draw. On the play, you can talk me into Thoughtseize in a wide array of matchups, but on the draw I wouldn't. So yeah, the Dark Blast, maybe the Explosive. That's about as deep as I would go.
All right, well, those are the options there for both players. Game number 2 about to be underway. They'll be given the green light, and we will be watching some magic here. As Caleb Durward going to start things off with a Blackleaf Cliffs and a Faithless Looting.
Mardu Pyromancer not nearly on the same level as Dredge as far as graveyard interactions go, but plenty of flashback, discard spells you want to pitch later on in the game, some setup for Bedlam Reveler. So looting is the rate on that card is so good that even decks that aren't all about the graveyard can still incorporate it effectively.
Wooded Foothills in the Stomping Grounds where Campbell will start things down to 17. And now here's the Faithless Looting for her. So both players starting off with a very powerful red sorcery. Yes, player discards Lingering Souls.
Really?
That's on there.
Okay.
That's literally on there. Oh, no, it doesn't happen that often, actually.
No, it doesn't.
Right?
Not at all.
Bloodghast, Prized Amalgam go to the graveyard there from Faithless Looting. Campbell's Faithless Looting a little bit better than Durward's.
From Durward's side, this is if he has a Nile Spellbomb, Campbell's graveyard right now is enough for me to snap it off.
Yeah? No Dredger down there.
Yeah, but there's a land drop. If Campbell, I think, may have briefly flashed her hand and shown a land, and if you think that looting might be online, it's also, I mean, there's 2 creatures coming back here.
Sure. Another Prized Amalgam to draw a couple Prized Amalgams in hand. Let's see what this is. Another copy of Faithless Looting. 2 cards coming. 2 cards will be placed in the graveyard here in just a moment. Looks like at least a Prized Amalgam and maybe a Bloodghast. There's a Bloodghast. Another Prized Amalgam. Okay.
This would not be a bad spot for Caleb's 1 Surgical Extraction on the board.
Really good spot for a fetch land. Bloodghast will trigger.
Fetch land's even some cover against a Surgical Extraction.
Mm-hmm. Now Campbell will sacrifice the fetch land. There's your basic mountain. And now here's another copy of Faithless Looting.
Ooh.
Yep.
Although still no Dredger in the graveyard.
Not yet, but you draw this many Faithless Lootings, you're going to find one. Prized Amalgam. Dark Blast. Let's see what Caleb has. He has Manamorphose. Be a good time for maybe a card like Rakdos Charm? Yeah?
Okay.
I'll take care of the graveyard entirely.
That's not bad.
I imagine Caleb's deck can beat 2 Bloodghast, right?
I mean, it's not easy.
It's not the easiest
thing
in the world,
easy.
no.
I mean, if he had nothing to interact with the graveyard, he was going to get run out the next turn. So I'm not sure if this is good enough, but it's at least the starting point of getting back into this game.
Bloodstained Mire will search up a mountain. Let's see what comes next here for Durward. Taking care of all those Faithless Lootings from the graveyard, really nice. Obviously, getting rid of 3 Price Amalgam is a pretty big deal, too. Looks like Caleb's going to recast and flash back a Faithless Looting. So 2 cards coming here. For the defending SCG Milwaukee champion.
Did not know that.
Yeah, last time. Bant Spirits. He got it done with that last time we were here. Very popular streamer is Durward. A little surprised to see him playing Mardu Pyromancer this weekend. As here come the copies of Bloodghast into the red zone. Your follow-up is Insolent Neonate. Pass that turn back.
Here you see Campbell not deploy the land in her hand there, putting a premium on the ability to recur Bloodcast should Durward put some removal together.
Inquisition of Kozilek, Lightning Axe, Bloodghast, Stinkweed Imp, Bloodstained Mire. Take care of the Lightning Axe, really the only card you can take in this instance. And now going to flashback Lingering Souls. There is a Marsh Flats. Now Insolent Neonate will be sacrificed, discarding a Stinkweed Imp, and now dredge 5. Lightning Axe, Haunted Dead, Cathartic Reunion, Conflagrate Stomping Ground. We head back over to Campbell, who will take a draw step. And now this is Cathartic Reunion. Perhaps what is this? No, this is Conflagrate. Okay.
You get the 2 blockers out of the way, get the imp back into the graveyard.
Is that for 2?
That was for
two or more? Okay, stamp that then. Erin Campbell doing a great job for my bingo board right now. Doing a really good job. 3 stamps this round. That is nice. Conflagrate discarded a Golgari Thug, a Stinkweed Imp, and a Bloodghast. So some good ones to place into the old graveyard here. And it looks like Caleb just hasn't found, well, I guess he did draw a graveyard hate card.
Yeah,
he drew a Rakdos Charm.
Yep.
So I take it back. I have Spell Gets Spliced on my bingo board.
So we need Storm. That's where that happens.
Yeah, Desperate Rituals. Or maybe a Grishol brand with Nourishing Shoal and Through the Breach. Those are my outs there. Or some maniac playing Glacial Ray. I would like that. Let's get a Glacial Ray deck on camera.
Seems unlikely.
Yeah, with that attitude. Maybe Dampening Thought.
Good against Jund. So much 2 toughness. So much 2 toughness in the deck now.
Yeah. Oh, dredge 3 or more.
Yeah, that one.
That's in there. Some people at home on Twitter said I've missed some stamps on my board. 3 spells on the stack. Did that happen at some point? In the Rune Flare Trap match?
Who can say?
Yeah?
Who can say?
I'm not sure. Spellcast with flashback. That's happened.
That has definitely
That has happened. Wow, I'm a little off. I didn't get the chance to review this before the show started. I'm doing well now though. Player Cycle's a card. I don't think we've had that yet.
No.
Okay. 5+ creatures attack at once. Well, we're getting close. Hopefully Caleb doesn't concede again. Gonna sacrifice some Marsh Flats. It is kind of interesting. His deck has some real problems with just Bloodghast.
Yes.
It's a real issue.
This Mardu Pyromancer deck does not like, you know, it's interesting because part of the reason to play this deck is its flexibility, right? If you're playing against a bunch of creatures, you have a lot of removal. And if you're playing against control decks, you have a lot of staying power. So what are your blind spots? And it's a deck like this that's attacking you, but also pretty much immune to spot removal.
This may be a Bedlam Reveler? Yeah, okay. Discard 2 cards. I think you have Bedlam Reveler on your board.
Cast for 2 or 3 mana.
How's 5 sound?
Yeah.
How's 5? Is that close? Well, Bedlam Reveler is here. Campbell's going to sacrifice that fetch land. Get a copy of Blood Crypt. Untapping and drawing, or maybe dredging, who knows.
So she has a Stinkweed Imp in the graveyard, no looting, correct?
No looting, correct. There's a Stinkweed Imp, Copperline Gorge, Life in the Loam, Bloodghast, Copperline Gorge. 6-ya. 1 down, take 4. Maybe we would just hard cast.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hard cast El Stinkerino.
Not Erin's first time.
Nope. Hard cast old Stink Bomb.
No hesitation.
Nah.
And then if things grind down a little bit here, even if Durward is able to stabilize on this, Campbell can kind of pivot to the plan B of use Loam to dredge, get some lands back, which gives food for your Bloodghast to come across the finish line, and also set up a lethal Confligate.
That's Blood Moon.
So Blood Moon is not the worst here, as it does cut off the Loam plan.
Yep. Shuts off the ability to hardcast Stinkerinos as well. Gonna dredge Stinkweed Imp. There's Gemstone Mine. Insulin Neonates, Wooded Foothills, Blood Crypt, and Archimedes trigger, and Archimedes is gonna enter the battlefield. In with the creatures. Bloodghast will be blocked, I presume. There we go. Down to 1 goes Caleb Durward. Can he beat 2 flyers?
And he's also got to win the game here now that he's fallen to 1, that if Campbell can simply dredge over a Confligate, that is lethal also.
Or just draw a land for her draw step?
She may want to take a, she can take a natural draw if she wants to, but I think she's dredging into so many live cards, even under this Blood Moon, that she might as well just keep dredging and try to finish off the game with a Confligate.
Faithless Looting done resolving there for Caleb. Gonna cast Lingering Souls. Those are flying blockers. Nothing easy here for Durward. That's for sure.
And now at 1, there's also pressure on Durward to actually close the game out. He can't merely sit back on defense, because if Campbell is able to flip over a Confligate, then that's the game.
It, yeah. See what Caleb, what else he wants to do this turn. This is Collective Brew maybe? Yeah. Use this to gain a little bit of life, and now attack with Bedlam Reveler, which is pretty big.
Yep, and just I think it looks like just draining. This might compel Campbell here to take a natural draw step. I'm much less interested in dredging if the Confligate isn't lethal.
1, where's Confligate? 2, 3, 4. Dredging a Gari Thug. Well, technically Confligate is lethal, right? 1 damage gets through, and then Confligate E for 2.
Yes.
Yeah. Unless Caleb has some sort of removal spell that we don't know he has.
Well, there's a good chance the last card in his hand is live, because there would have been some value in escalating with the brutality of the last turn.
Yep, because there's Lightning Bolt.
This is not surprising.
Okay.
And you can't cast the Stinkweed Imp.
Nope. Just going to Confligate E for 2, put you to 1. That's a little surprising.
No, I think she just needs to dredge out the next turn.
What do you mean?
Like, just find another Confligate?
Well, why Confligate just take a draw step and deal him 3 the next turn?
Maybe that's the better line. You may not feel that your hand's totally safe.
Sure. I mean, Caleb's empty-handed. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what the upside is of knocking him from 3 to 1 as opposed to having a 3 with Confligate in the graveyard and a draw step kills him. Unless Caleb, you know,
this line from Campbell fades every discard spell.
That's true. It fades every discard spell, and it fades like a Nile Spellbomb.
Right.
Yeah, that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Caleb found a lightning bolt for the attack for the win.
Yeah. He was able to flash back eluding and dug and was chaining enough spells to finish out the game.
So we're going to go here to game number 3, a game that was looking pretty difficult for Caleb, but Bedlam Reveler in combination with some spells was a fast enough clock to get the job done. So Caleb Durward and Erin Campbell are going to be ready here for game number 3 between Mardu Pyromancer and Dredge. And while they get ready for that, you guys are going to get to hear about this.
Go. Go.
We are back. Erin Campbell, Caleb Durward getting ready to watch game number 3 between Dredge and Mardu Pyromancer. Keep in mind, after this match is over, we either jump to a backup match or talk more Dominaria cards. So far, we know Atlanta War Elves is good, and Karn, Scion of Urza is...
I'm putting my money on busted.
Patrick's going to go with busted. The stamper, which is oozing ink, has now found its way onto my phone.
Yeah,
it's probably not great.
These stamps suck.
Wow. Well, you should tell Matthias. He's here. He's the one that got them for us.
They're his?
Yeah. He added them to the broadcast. Erin Campbell going to take a mulligan here very quickly.
One of the benefits about playing Dredge is mulligans just don't matter at all. I shouldn't say they don't matter. You still have to get off the ground, and you can mulligan deep enough where that can happen. But your 6-card hands that are good are almost indistinguishable from your 7-card hands that are any good.
Well, we're going to quickly go over game night here, Patrick, while Erin takes a mulligan. Since the mulligan will probably be a little quick, we can go through this really quick. I know it's your favorite thing, so let's talk about game night real quick, shall we?
Go.SRCGames.com/game night. Find the game night closest to you. We got kits coming here. It's April 3 Bribe Mice. May we got
Please, you have to go this
Focus,
fast.
and June prehistoric playtime. Pins tokens over go.SRCGames.com/game night. Find the game night closest to you. Stores you want to get signed up for game night. If not signed up, contact your SRC Games in-store play representative. Back to the action.
Thank you. Thank you. That was the worst sell of game night we've ever done. We've been doing this for 5 years.
You said do it fast.
I didn't say do it that fast.
You didn't say do it well.
Okay.
All right, well, language matters.
That's true. Words matter.
Words matter.
Words matter. Faithless Looting, discarding Stinkweed Imp, and Conflagrate. Words matter. We'll do another game night promotional later in the day.
Yeah. I'll slow that one down.
Noted.
I'll take people for a walk.
Yeah, please do. Gonna dredge Stinkweed Imp, Narcomoeba, Gemstone Mine, Blood Crypt, Copperline Gorge, Prized Amalgam. Trigger the Narcomoeba. Amalgam will be coming back a little later in the day. This is the Faithless Looting. Draw 2. Discard 2 in a moment. El Stinkerino is one.
Looks like Campbell has also found a second land, which is really nice as this opens up Loam down the line. She was on a one lander here. If she doesn't find a land on that Faithless Looting, she might have to start taking some natural draw steps. Now with land number 2, she can keep dredging and pivot to Loam should that line come up.
Dark Blast also placed into the graveyard, one land away from flashing back Faithless Looting. Durward not doing much of anything, just a second land. Passes the turn back over to Campbell. Campbell will dredge. Stinky, Narcomoeba, Insolent Neonates, Bloodstained Mire, Mountain, Conflagrates. Trigger the Narcomoeba, coming on back. Here come the beatdowns for 4. Durward going to fall down to 16. Now Durward could have a copy of Anger of the Gods in hand. Does have one after sideboard. This, well, hold on a minute. 2 lightning axes in hand. Okay, so not much going on there.
Yeah, the question is, do you confligate here just to get in some points and get the Stinkweed Imp back into your graveyard, or do you just pass?
Looks like the answer is just pass.
Well, Durward's deck has so much in the way of one-toughness creatures that I think holding back with the Confligate's reasonable.
There's a Blood Moon. Pass the turn back. Campbell, going to dredge. Dark Blast. Prized Amalgam, Faithless Looting, Cathartic Reunion go to the graveyard. An attack for 5 is going to bring Durward down to 11.
But Campbell here, a lot of lines get cut off under the face of Blood Moon, but she does have some pressure, and she does have the Confligate in the graveyard, threatening to end the game maybe next turn if Durward has nothing going on. Close to it.
There's a swamp. This is an Anger of the Gods.
Now things get challenging. This is kind of the 1-2 here, where it's hard for Campbell to enable a lot of the deck's plays in the face of this Blood Moon, and she has no pressure.
Life in the Loam, the draw. That one's uncastable. Gotta head back over to Durward now. Durward will draw. Looks like he's found a copy of Young Pyromancer. It's weird that a 3-color deck can operate underneath its own Blood Moon, but Durward's deck does have the ability to do that.
Well, it's sort of fake 3 colors because you don't actually need the white mana. I've seen builds of this deck that play with Lightning Helix, and then you are actually the full 3, and the Blood Moons are awkward. But your Lingering Souls you can discard to a variety of things, and everything else in the deck operates with just red or black mana.
Lightning Axe is going to target Young Pyromancer in response to this Faithless Looting. Yes, Caleb will still get the Elemental token, but he'll lose his Young Pyromancer, and now Faithless Looting will resolve. So Caleb will draw 2 and discard 2. And there goes Lingering Souls and Inquisition of Kozilek. Faithless Looting now done resolving. Follow up here might be Lingering Souls. Caleb, yeah, just want to make sure he didn't play a land yet this turn, which he did not. I think he may have Manamorphose in hand.
So he can Metamorphose and Bedlam Reveler this turn, or he can just flash back the Lingering Souls.
Mm-hmm. This is Manamorphose.
10 a.m. Modern Challenge. Please find your seats for round number 3.
And now here's Lingering Souls. Going to save Bedlam Reveler for next turn. So 2 spirits on the way as well here for Caleb. And he'll pass the turn back over to Campbell. Time to dredge. Cathartic Reunion, Haunted Dead, Bloodghast, Copperline Gorge, Life in the Loam. Those are the 5. See what we have here. 2, 3 for Conflagrate. Looks like it's going to wipe away the 1/1s. And Campbell will pass the turn back over to Durward. Durward will draw. Maybe a Looting again. Nope, it'll be a Lightning Bolt. I think this means Bedlam Reveler will only cost 2 potentially, maybe a little more than that. Looks like it's going to cost 3.
All right.
Did you get there?
That is a stamp on my...
All right.
Oh, player locked out by Blood Moon. I'm happy to call this locked out. By any reasonable standard, this is locked out by Blood Moon.
All right, I'll give it to you.
I understand she has been taking game actions and casting
like
spells,
casting Conflagrate.
In the colloquial sense of locked out, this definitely qualifies.
All right.
We gotta
I don't know what colloquial means.
We got to get a new stamp and or fire Matthias, because what is happening to my hands right now is unacceptable.
Be a tough way for Matthias to go.
It would be petty of me, certainly.
Yeah, it'd be a tough way for me to go. After years of great work, the stamper is what does him in.
Yeah, go get me some wet wipes and then show yourself the door.
Looks like we're going to have a fatal push take care of the amalgam. Narcomoeba on the battlefield here. That Bedlam Reveler got taken care of by a lightning axe. Looks like Caleb's going to recast a Faithless Looting.
And I think he has found a Nile Spellbomb, and that may be the check mark here.
Be a good time for one of those if he found one. Here is Nile Spellbomb. I would activate that. That's going to do that. There goes the entire graveyard. And now young Pyromancer. We head back over to Erin Campbell. No cards in the graveyard. Now one card in hand. Narcomoeba going to come across. It's got to deal 10 more. That's it. Just 10 more, man.
Well, even if Durward drew nothing but lands for the rest of the game, he would still be ahead in this race.
And that is going to do it. Erin Campbell will tap the mat as Caleb Durward's going to win this match here over Erin Campbell 2-1. Mardu Pyromancer will take care of Dredge. And for our defending SCG Milwaukee champion, Caleb Durward, he's off to a great start. No buys, no problem. 2-0 here in the Wisconsin.